welcome back to Amazing Thorns. My name's Hannah, this is a weekly reading vlog, and the Wheel of Time is still turning. If you watched this week's vlog, that was the type of vlog. One thing that always just seems to repeat is that the Dark One and the Hero, the Dragon Reborn, will always fight, and they are supposed to keep the balance between evil, and at the start of the book, things are looking more like we follow the land, and his friends from Tina's village, as they go on an adventure to basically get to Vatalon or Talonvar to speak to the Aes Sedai, who are this world's witches. Moraine is an Aes Sedai, and I'm enjoying it. It is a very classic fantasy in the sense that we can kind of tell where everything is going to go, but in that sense, it's a familiar fantasy, I call it. So, I have my book, I have Pepsi Max, and I also have It's Stuck kombucha. And as I am filming this intro, I'm trying to get last week's vlog to upload, so fingers crossed that works, and I will come back to you if anything happens. So it's Thursday. The vlog for last week finally went up last night. YouTube just did not want to upload it for some reason. I have updates. I actually got my nails done properly. We got some purple acrylics. Got them done last night. I'm this much in. I think I have like 72 pages, I want to say. This is when I expose myself not being able to do maths. Alright, so it finishes on 771. I'm on to page 765. No, 766. So I have this much left, and I am very much still enjoying it. Things are starting to come together. The gang, we have spoiler, the gang who were separated are now back together. I still have my suspicions about Thom and if he's going to turn up, but anywho, so I have book adjacent parcels. I have my planners for next year, I went with the Common Planner from Sterling Ink. This is the A5 undated one, just to have a bit of a play around with. I also have their subscription kit coming as well, and then very excited about is this little fabric item. Oh, I feel like I'm doing an unboxing, but basically it's just a little cover. So this isn't, right, for people who don't want spoilers, don't worry, this isn't a spoiler. So the book goes in, like that, and then the cover comes around, and you can just attach it like that, and your book is protected. And this will also work for hardcovers as well. I just don't have one to hand. So yeah, I'm just going to read, for want of a better word. I just can't get over how pretty that looks. Purple, and it's this is from the Sewn Shop on Etsy. There's quite a few shops doing these like little book covers, like a book sleeve, but it actually protects your covers. I have one from a book subscription box that does the same thing, but I wanted a fabricy one because this will work for paperbacks. This just works for hardcovers. But I'm going to stick the YouTubes on, watch and catch up with some videos and read, and I'll come back to you probably when I finish the book.
If we could run it, if we could run it back, and do you wonder if we could run it back, if we could run it, if we could run it back, and do you wonder if we could run it back? All of the things I didn't know, I had to get out down the road, inside of the same old, caught in the circles round they go. It's hard when you keep close, rewind with my eyes closed. Might need a breather, got lost in the B-roll, let all the windows.
Okay, so update time. I finished The Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan. Well, no, technically. Hang on, Hannah. You finished the first book in the Wheel of Time series, which is The Eye of the World. And I gave that 4 stars. And is anybody surprised that I rated a fantasy book high? But I thoroughly enjoyed it. I just couldn't give it a 5-star because it didn't do anything new. I didn't get an emotional connection to the characters. I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I just wouldn't say it's a favourite. It's a new favourite, and I wasn't completely engrossed in the story as I would have liked for it being a fantasy. That being said, I will probably continue with the series. It is a classic for a reason. It was very well structured, very well put together. I just didn't love it. And I think that's the downside to reading books that were highly acclaimed in the past, because you can see where current reads have evolved from. What's similar to the Wheel of Time other than Game of Thrones? The Bone Season. You can see how the fantasy elements have adapted, how we tend to have more structured magic, and how fantasy doesn't always have to be an epic fantasy story set in a mystical land. We can weave in magical elements in the real world. But that being said, that wouldn't happen without the likes of the Wheel of Time series, Lord of the Rings, probably Game of Thrones. So I think they were all written about the same time, I want to say. I could be wrong. But without those types of stories, and David Eddings, we wouldn't have the likes of Sarah J. Maas. We wouldn't have Samantha Shannon. Well, we would, but I think it'd be different writers. So it is important to touch base with the old classics, the modern classics, because we can see where the stories evolved from, and we can see the beginning of these tropes in a way that made sense for the time, and we can also see how they've evolved, and you can see where the tropes started from. So, that being said, I did enjoy it. Full stop. I have some booktube to catch up with. I have some Disney crochet blanket stuff to catch up on. And I think I'll probably read Chloe Gong's Our Violent Ends. The fabric cover doesn't fit the hardback, it is what it is. I just use my dragon cover for the hardbacks, because it's just to protect them, really. And I'll come back to you when I've started the book, and we'll see what happens next. So it's now Sunday. I didn't read anything yesterday, but I did do some writing, which was a good thing. And I'm currently reading All Violent Ends by Chloe Gong, the sequel to Our Violent Delights, which is a Romeo and Juliet inspired retelling in 1920s Shanghai. Following Juliet and Roma. In the first book, they are the heirs to the Kai and Montague, I want to say, families, so Montague and Capulet. And they team up to defeat a madness that's taking over Shanghai. I'm not going to say much more because of spoilers, but in this book, I'm on page 74, so they are being asked, can I say it? They're dealing with the fallout of the first book and have just been asked to work together again. Now, Roma and Juliet have had a thing in the past, which is where Romeo and Juliet comes in, but we are learning more about the political landscape of Shanghai, which is an interesting one. So I'm just going to come back and tell you about that when I get to it. I guess today is Sunday, so I'll probably come back in at some point and close the vlog out, but we shall see what happens.